What's up, everybody? Oh no. Hold on. All right, there we go. There we go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Boot Breakdown. I am JB, the sports guy. Now, Jordan Taylor is on assignment. He's not able to make it tonight, but Nick Campbell is having technical difficulties. So I'm trying to get him in, but he is having technical difficulties right now. But as you know, the show must go on, and we'll get Nick when we get Nick. But we will have Coach Byron Porter from Westminster Opelousas joining us at 6:45. So waiting for Nick to get in, but the show has to go on. So I'm going to start the show, and once we get Nick in here, then we'll have Nick come on in. But here we go. We're going to start off with Terrebonne and Hornville as we start our week 4 recaps. We have Terrebonne defeated Hornville 52-38. Now, it was a tight ball game in the first half, but Terrebonne went up 35-24. Terrebonne gets the opening kickoff in the second half, and they score 42-24 and never look back. I'm going to say that Terrebonne is a legit team, and it's a team you should look out for. Number one, they have a great offensive line, a very good offensive line. Number two, they have weapons. They have Alvin Celestine, and they have Quincy Adams. Alvin Celestine is now being used more as a wide receiver than a running back, and Quincy Adams is their guy at running back. And they are using those two guys phenomenally. Quincy Adams is getting most of the touches. We're talking about a back that's over 200 pounds. And what's up, Wayne? How you doing, man? How you doing, Wayne? Glad you're back on, man. Glad you're back on with us. We're talking about a running back, about 205 pounds, that can pound the rock, can take a hit, and is hard to bring down. And then you have Owen Oliver, the quarterback, who is now coming into his own as a third-year starter. And I tell you, I've never saw Owen Oliver play the way that he played on Friday night. And he had 3 touchdowns in the first half. He was over 150 yards passing in the first half. He finished, I believe, with 250 yards passing. So when you put all of that together for this Terrebonne team, go to show you how dangerous they can be if you're using all of these weapons. And I'm not even talking about roughing it running back, the backup running back, and you got Terrence Diggs at wide receiver as well. So they have weapons all around offensively. And that is just to me outstanding. Very outstanding. Nick Campbell was at the game as he's still trying to get in. But I guarantee I know what Nick Campbell, what he did wrong. I promise you I know what he did wrong. And I'm going to get that fixed. I guarantee you Nick Campbell is using the wrong link to get in here. So let's fix this right quick to get Nick Campbell back in here, because I guarantee that's what it is. But as we speak on that, look, Hornville is not a bad team. They are not. And we're talking about a Hornville team that could be a quarterfinal team for sure. And their defense just didn't play up to par. And Coach Scoble, the defensive coordinator, I promise you. See, I told you Nick Campbell was using the wrong link. He was using the wrong link. And there he is, Nick Campbell. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, my gentleman? Every day, typical Sunday night, right?
There you go, man. Typical Sunday night. Typical Sunday night. So, speaking about Hornville and Terrebonne, speaking of Terrebonne, I just got onto Hornville saying that their defense didn't play up to par. Coach Scoble, the defensive coordinator, who I know personally, he gonna challenge them come this next week because he knows his defense can play better than how they played against Terrebonne. But that's not taking anything away from Terrebonne because they played a hell of a game.
Man, I tell you what, sometimes excuses are for crybabies, and we all witnessed the same game. You witness it from up top, I witness it from the ground level. And Coach Bowen said it best. Terrebonne was the better team that night. But let's not discredit Terrebonne. I think Terrebonne has something really special is brewing on the Bayou this year.
I agree. I'm right there with you, man. You could feel it. And after the game, when we was on the field, you could feel like there's something special about this 2025 Terrebonne team. Coach Tyler Lewis, he talked about just being 1-0 each week, and if they stick to their keys, stay healthy, and do the thing they're supposed to do, they got a great shot to get to New Orleans for the state championship. And I'm sure he's just going to lead on that offensive line that he has, Nick, because those guys are just fantastic.
Between 17 and 22 seniors, man, sometimes you just gotta just go with the flow, listen to your kids, and coach your coaches to continue to coach these kids, man, because it's not that often that you could have a graduating class of between 17 to 22 kids. That's normally will get you to New Orleans.
Agreed. Before we move on to the next topic, what's next for Hornville? What do they have to do in order to get better and improve?
Well, Hornville had to do nothing. Just be Hornville. I mean, you look at the game, I look at the game. Hornville scored tick for tack with Terrebonne.
Yep.
Hornville made stops when they had to. If you look at the fourth quarter and the way the game was being played, Hornville made two stops when they had to. They just couldn't convert to get a touchdown. Against a real seasoned team, they would have took advantage of that against Terrebonne. And that's some of the things that Coach Tyler and I talked about after the game that they really got to prepare and fix for the up-and-coming games that's ahead. They're running a gauntlet of a schedule. They got Destrehan this week. They got St. Charles Catholic the next week, man. So, and guys like that, when you have season programs, Coach Tyler want his kids to play the best on the river to get better, to get to New Orleans.
That's right. Shanae Simone says Terrebonne definitely was on fire Friday night. Their defense came back in the second half and really was the difference making in that game. I thought Shanae was
she's absolutely right. She's the correspondent that knows what she's looking at. Sometimes when people see you put on colors, they think you take it personal, man. Look, I'm not even lying about this, man. These guys have something special. What poetic justice would be if Hornville had to play Terrebonne in the first round of the playoff in that rubber match? That would be poetic justice to see where it all really lies
at. It would be, man. Hopefully we don't get that, but you never know how the chips may fall once they release the brackets. Want to move on. Yeah, Cheese, no Jordy tonight. He's on assignment. I want to go to Archbishop Shaw defeating Lafayette Christian. I didn't see this happening, to be honest with you, due to the fact that Shaw's offense hasn't really gelled yet. There's no chemistry. It's hard for them to get first down. They can't move the ball down the field. But Nick, when your defense can make a team commit 7 turnovers, 6 of them are interceptions, Nick, that makes it easy for your team to win, right?
Supposedly. In my expert opinion, last Sunday, I told you Hank Turner is too good of a veteran coach to let his team go down to Lafayette Christian School.
You did
Remember
say
that?
that. Yes.
I, I definitely called that because it's not taking nothing away from Lafayette Christian. Yes, Coach Hank will have them playing better as the season comes. That big game against St. Charles Catholic, that's going to be a really big game. But when you look at LCA, man, they're stepping up in class and you stepping up in coaching when you do that. And you're going to get those results from time to time because it's all about the depth that's in Lafayette versus Shaw. Shaw got some good depth. They're learning, they're young, but they're also being coached every single week.
Yeah, without a doubt. I still got LCA going to the Dome in Division III Select. I got them going to the Dome, play for the championship. You know, they beat a good Rummel team. They beat Karen Crow. They beat Westgate. They just came up short against Shaw with too many mistakes. And you cut those mistakes out, and this may be a different ball game that we're talking about. Look, Shaw's defense is legit. They've been legit, and that's what they're riding on right now, leaning on that defense until this offense can finally gel and get together and get it together. Lafayette Christian is a good team, but when you make those mistakes, that is what happens. 7 turnovers is hard for anybody to win. But they cut that in half, maybe, or a little bit more than half. It's probably a different ball game because I saw the stats for Shaw's offense, and I'm like, they didn't move the ball much. Yeah, they got 31 points, but when you cause and turnovers and you got good field position, chances of scoring are very high. So I'm sure LCA gonna correct those mistakes, but they got a tough Central team coming up next week. I want to go to Shreveport right quick. Evangel defeats Airline. Evangel was down 14 points at halftime. Peyton Houston had already thrown 3 interceptions, but they found a way to come back and decide to go for 2 points to get the win. Nick Campbell.
Man, I tell you, you can't say enough about that kid, man. He's tough as nails. You know, you going through a game like Airline, nobody would expect Airline to be toe-to-toe with them like they did. They lost a lot of kids. So now they trying to get their footing back too. Airline always been a thorn in the side coming down the south and playing really well. But them playing a team like that and be able to hang in there with a fighter's punch, man, that was incredible for them to have this weekend like that. I was shocked.
I'll say this. I think the game changed when Evangel returned a 99-yard fumble for a touchdown. I think the momentum really –
that was a big –
yeah, and that was midway through the fourth quarter. I think the momentum really switched right there when that happened, and they never looked back at all. They snapped Airlines that was Airlines' first district loss in 2 years, and also they snapped Airlines' 17-game regular season winning streak. Yeah, so you got to credit Evangel for what they did. You got to credit Peyton Houston for staying poised and continuing to lead his team to victory, man. That's what the great ones do, Nick. That's right, Cheese. It was a safety, not a 2-point version. It was a safety. My fault. You're right, Cheese.
He's special. He's special. He's a special talent, and we're going to watch him grow, and we hope to see him get to the Dome and let everybody see his talent on full display.
Definitely. You know about Coach Louis Cook at Notre Dame. He's a legend in himself. You know about him. Now, do you know Notre Dame was down 28-0 to Catholic of New Iberia, and they came back to win 35-34. What are your thoughts about Notre Dame putting off that comeback?
JB, until you hear when Louis Cook was at Reign way back when, and when you think about, I could put this. I'm gonna make it simple as this. That game was like Riverside versus St. Charles Catholic when Coach Monica and Stubbs was there. You know, it's one of those family reunion type games, and you're gonna have that onslaught of scoring, and then somebody gonna come back and tie it up and win a block field goal, mixed extra point, a 2-point conversion to win the game. That was the first thing we talked about when you hit on the ground. It's like, damn, Notre Dame came back. Man, that's an old fox of a coach. And he's going to pull out every stop to win a football game. And it's classic, man. I'm sorry that he's not being celebrated enough in the state of Louisiana as more on a legendary sector down south. You get what I'm saying? Down.
What's up, Jeffrey Mitchell? Oh, you saying the officiating crew took it from y'all, huh, Jeffrey Mitchell? Well, look, I ain't getting involved in that, Jeffrey. I know you was there with your Cali Iberia team, but I ain't getting involved with that. But look, go ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
Let me share something with Jeffrey. Coaches talk to officials. And when coaches talk to officials, for example, they might say, I got a tight end going to go leak out and get this 2-point conversion on an extra point for a kick, or a 2-point conversion. That's something fans know nothing about. And when a person scores, they be like that holy shit moment. But the referees already talk to the coaches because they got to let them know that XYZ is going to be off the line or on the line or da-da-da-da-da. So fans don't get it and say, like, how did that happen? They cheat. But no, the coaches have already talked to the coach, because if they don't have 6 flags come out, it's not a what? It's not a foul.
Yeah, you have it.
It's not a penalty.
Yeah, you have it. I want to ask you this, Nick. Vermilion Catholic hadn't lost a regular season game in quite some time until week 1 this year. They lost. And now they lost to their rivals, Erath, for the first time, I think, in 4 years or 3 years. Is there something going on at Vermilion Catholic, or we still got to sit back and tell people, hey, Vermilion Catholic will be okay? Because they lost to Erath. They're 2-2 now.
I tell you this is a live and well team that's scheduled to play Riverside Christian Academy this weekend. And I don't think it's a bend but break game for them, but I think this is a up and coming rivalry. Vermilion Catholic and Riverside, as long as Coach Lee Russo have been there. So they didn't split between the two since the last 3 years, 1-1. So last year, Riverside was at home. Vermilion Catholic went on that amazing run and all the way to the state championship. I think they've been drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit too much. They don't have the depth to compete with the schedule that was selected. But when they get down to district play, we're going to see who Vermilion Catholic really is, because they got some formidable foes that they're going to really be facing. Riverside is going to be one. This game this weekend going to have significant meaning in that poll administration coming up.
I agree. They played Catholic New Iberia. That's a tough opponent. They played Erath. That's a rivalry. Like, they right there with each other, city-wise in the Acadiana area. And now Riverside, like you said, Riverside's coming to town again. And I know Riverside lost to them last year, but the year before, Riverside defeated them in the playoffs to get to the Dome. So yeah, I like that Riverside and Vermilion Catholic plays each other in the regular season, and I hope they keep that going every year. But I really think Vermilion Catholic will be fine when it all comes down to the end of it. They will be fine, and they're going to be a team that every team, when they look at the brackets for the playoffs, going to be looking to see where's Vermilion Catholic. Are they on our side or the other side of the bracket? So they will be fine. Staying in the Lafayette area, Neville was up on St. Thomas More at St. Thomas More 16-0, but lost 27-23. Were you surprised when you heard STM came back?
You gave me the delivery, and the first thing I tell you, I said they was eating the cheese. They was eating the cheese, man. Look, games like that you can't really gauge, because when you look at a Neville Tigers team and you look at the lead, I was like, the last 2 minutes, the game is not safe unless you're kneeling on the ball. And they play all the way through, even including teams like the Sterlington Panthers. They play all the way through. You cannot go and think you're going to be in week 4 with a lead on somebody and I got the game. That's it. We witnessed Harville could have came back from a 21-point lead. They shrunk it within 8 minutes of the game, you know? So high school football is still one of the most purest form of flattery when you talking about I can win this game still because you are never out of it.
Yep. Exactly. Cheese is right. Never quarterback lost the ball on the final throw. Defensive end picked it off to end the game. Yep. I did watch that game early Saturday morning. I did look at it, and I was just sitting there like, wow, these dudes really came back and won this game. You know, it was like when I heard about it, I kind of wasn't shocked. But when you watch it and see how, you like, wow, they really came back and won this game.
Well, let's think this being this gonna be something for Jordy. How will that game affect the Neville Tigers down the line?
I don't know. I don't know, but I think Coach Mike McCarthy will have his team up and running soon. I think he's gonna get them right. I think he will have them right. I think they'll be able to bounce back from this. We talk about a good Neville team, but they already got 2 losses, which is shocking. It's early in the year, 2 losses from Neville.
Yeah.
Shocking. I think Coach Mike McCarthy will get them right. I think he's going to see that, hey, when we got a lead like this, we got to keep our foot on the pedal. We can't let up and let them get momentum and then carry that forward. I think they're going to be fine, Nick. I really do. Now,
yeah.
Speaking of that Monroe area, West Monroe defeating Catholic of Baton Rouge 27-24. I don't think anybody in the state had West Monroe defeating Catholic of Baton Rouge except West Monroe, Louisiana. Shout out.
That's like tricky coach.
Go ahead.
Tricky Coach Dizer.
Shout out to Coach Michael Dizer, first-year coach, man, and that's his biggest win ever so far. This was definitely the shocker to me. I didn't see it happening. We just saw North DeSoto put a beat down on West Monroe last week, and now West Monroe. You know what they always say: when you lose, it's how you respond, and they showed the state.
Yeah.
How they responded with that win over Catholic of Baton Rouge.
Yes, they did. And it's incredible because when you coaching a game like that versus a coach that you don't know about his skin, you don't know what he told his kids to prepare them for this game this week. It was incredible that they bounced back and was ready to put out a performance like they did. They put me on notice because I did not see this coming,
Man,
JB.
I'm telling you, nobody saw this. Nobody picked them to beat Catholic of Baton Rouge except West Monroe, Louisiana. That's it. That is it. But what makes me think now is this district that good now? Is this district that tough? Because Ouachita Parish is undefeated. You got Neville. Alexandria is undefeated. Ruston's undefeated. Now West Monroe, big win over Catholic. To me, this just made this district one of the toughest districts in the state. If we're talking, Nick.
Yeah, I think the state been put on notice, because this is why we do the boot breakdown. We want people to see what's available for them. And, Destrehan played Alexandria. There was no excuses there. We had no injuries there. Alexandria came in and did what they're supposed to do. Ouachita won a strong game last week. So there are some formidable opponents in that district, and it's going to be a really, really interesting seeding process. I just can't wait.
You can't wait, man. I can't wait until these matchups start happening for that district, which I think is starting to happen this week or next week. I mean, when you get the Alexandrias against the Ruston and West Monroe against Neville, when these matchups start happening with all these good teams in that district, somebody got to come out on top, or we'll get something like we did last year with the Hornville, Destrehan, and Terrebonne district, with those 3 being co-district champions. We're going to see about that. Question for you, man. Thibodaux Tigers, 4-0. Coach Narcisse got his team playing pretty well right now. You know about Thibodaux a little bit. What can you say about the Thibodaux Tigers as they just defeated Central Lafourche?
Yeah, sometimes, we tend to look at wins as sins. And when I say it, because people expect to win, and man, winning is hard, JB. To coach a team of 80-something kids, to first feed them, first keep them healthy, first keep them eligible, and to go out and play a game on Friday night. I'm going to tell you what I learned for having a relationship with Coach Narcisse. It was a two-way relationship. I know him as a player, and I know him as a coach. And as a coach, man, we are about to witness our prodigy as a young coach. We witnessed a young JT Curtis. Well, not totally fully because I'm in my mid-50s, but we're witnessing something that is going to be, if he wants to, coach high school football for 40 years. He's a young prodigy coach that's coming up, and I'm ordaining him as that because I saw it firsthand. He loves the game of football,
and he's still in his 20s, right?
Yes. He's not too older than my son, but not too younger than my daughter. But I understand his concept because every kid want to make it to the league. That kid was one of the most celebrated athletes in the state of Louisiana once upon a time. And it just didn't work out for him. And we cheered for him to get healthy through all these injuries, man. And God spoke to him, and at the interview I had with him last year, and he said, look, this is where I needed to be. I needed to make a difference in high school football. He told us a story, how his coach, he would help the kids prepare when he was injured. How many athletes do that? Like, man, you on your own. You better get in the book on your own. But I am saying this and firm believing that's his passion. This is his calling. We don't know where he's going to stand, and I'm not blowing a horn for Coach Narcisse or Thibodaux. I think they got the right guy.
I think so, too. We saw what he did at Ascension Catholic in his first year of being a head coach for high school football. We saw what he did. Thibodaux saw that, and they said, hey, we got to get this guy while the iron is hot right now. And Thibodaux went and got him, and right now you're seeing what he's doing. Now he's about to start district play. He got tough games with everybody in that district. But I still see Thibodaux as making the playoffs. They made it last year, but I think they're going to be a better team this year. They're going to make it again. And then that's after they make the playoffs, we're going to see this ball start rolling for Coach Narcisse moving forward year after year after year. I think he's going to build this program, and Thibodaux is going to be a very well-respected program once again, Nick.
Yes, they will. Remember, in the last 5 years, Thibodaux will make the playoff with a 5-5 record, but I think they will have some improvement. They will have some improvement if Thibodaux can find a way to get to 7-3 and 6-4. I said this Tuesday night on the Hash It Out show. That district is going to be something to watch in the near future because look, the talent is there and the coaching is there in that district. I talk highly about Coach Scott. We know what Coach Bourne can do. He's going to bounce back at HL. You got Coach Brown. He's on the downside of some talent, but Coach Brown can upset a team or two coming down the stretch to really, he don't have the billing of the high-powered Destrehands or the high-powered Hornbills, but he could probably get him a game or two out of that district. So I called it the black and blue district, but Thibodaux is legit.
Definitely. Hornville goes to HL Bourgeois this week. And we know what happened last year in the regular season when Hornville got a big win, but that playoff game was totally different. Hornville, 10-point victory, but the game was close throughout. And now Hornville got to go to HL Bourgeois. And let's see if HL Bourgeois can get some revenge on the Hornville Tigers this week. And if that happens, that's going to be some big-time news, Nick, if HL Bourgeois defeat Hornville.
Back to the scene of the crime. Hey, man, Coach Sterling is a seasoned veteran. And Coach Sterling, we talked for about an hour this summer. He was telling me how he had to really change the culture at HL Bourgeois. And you got so many areas of that area trying to pull for so many kids, and you want to keep the kids that you have, and you want to really show face that, hey, we can play some football over here in Terrebonne. And then you got in your backyard, you got Terrebonne that's leaning towards superiority, and not Vermilion Catholic, Vanderbilt Catholic is doing well, and also E.D. White. So those guys are really building something under Coach Sterling. He's an old school coach like myself. He's a puncher's type of boxer. He's going to hit you, and hopefully he can land a spot to knock you out. So anybody that's going to play H.R. Bourgeois, he's going to go in there with a fighter's chance.
Okay. Now, we know you cover mainly the river parishes, but we know you just dipped over to the east bank of Jefferson Parish every now and then. You know, you've done it before. And John Curtis and Rummel, who are rivals on the east bank, two private schools on the east bank, they had a ball game on Friday night. John Curtis winning 21-19. And before we bring in Coach Porter, he just logged in. I want you to answer this quickly. John Curtis gets the ball in the fourth quarter and goes on an 11-minute and 45-minute drive just to end the ball game.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's typical old school football coaching. They take the air out the football. JT is no dummy. He realized that Rummel is a real live team, and if we give them that ball back, they're gonna score. It's not that Curtis was not that good. It's about where they played the game at, the Shrine on the Airline, where magic happens. And anything can happen. We saw so many games that was determined win or lost for JT. And that's what he kept in the back of his mind to help to secure the win in a really tough district in that Catholic league.
You're exactly right, man. When I heard they went on that drive, I said, oh, man, that's typical JT, man. He got the lead. He could drive down the field for a whole quarter, snap the ball with 1 second on the play clock every time, and his offense just executing the plays that they run. You can't be mad at that. Nobody can, because your job is to stop it. If you can't stop it, too bad. So I ain't got no problem with it, man. I found it phenomenal. But right now, we have a guest on the Boot Breakdown. History being made. The first guest ever on the Boot Breakdown. He is the head coach of the Westminster Christian Academy Crusaders in Opelousas. Yes, Opelousas, not the one in Lafayette. The one in Opelousas. We got to get it right. The one and only head coach, Byron Porter. What's going on, Coach?
How y'all doing tonight, fellas? How y'all doing?
Doing good, Coach. Doing good, man. We are glad that you are here with us, Coach. Right. Coach, you just defeated Catholic of Point Coupe 41-28. Tell us a little bit about that game, about what your offense did and your defense. Can you hear me, Coach?
Yeah, I got you. I got like a little. Well, that game against Point Coupe, that's a district game. I think we're in a tough district, district 1A. We knew that game was going to be coming in, so it was a hard-fought game, kind of like a playoff atmosphere, going into a real all-star environment. Our kids performed admirably in all three phases, and we were fortunate to come out on top.
Talk about your team right now. I know every week the goal is 1-0, 1-0, but you have to be impressed right now with the way your team is playing, especially being 4-0 right now.
Yeah, we're happy, but we have expectations. We know that the job isn't done, so we're staying focused. We always talk about having laser focus as we approach each week. So we just concentrate on doing the right things and just playing the next game on the schedule. That's the most important thing that we could do. And so far, that's what we've been doing. The kids been able to do that.
Go ahead, Nick.
Coach, how you doing? Pretty good, man. There's no secret. The word is out. Westminster of Opelousas, man. Tell me the message that you're telling your team to keep them on the ground level of all this immediate success you're having. The first year you went 5-5. The next year you went over 6-4. Now you're undefeated. Tell us, just to bring it to make the connection with the people in the South and the North. How do you keep your team grounded?
Well, we always talk about not eating rap. We know that the attention that you get can easily be taken away. So we want to always keep our nose to the ground and just grind, and let everything fall where it may.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like you used to say back in the days. It used to be newspaper clipping, but you got the Facebook articles, you got the Facebook internet, you got the Facebook Twitter, the Twitter
Right.
machine. You got all these different apparatus where people getting at your kids, man, getting at your coaches. Tell me, what do you have to do to really let people know that Opelousas is going to be here to stay?
I'm sorry, say again. What do we have to do to what?
To stay, like they're here, their arrival is for real.
I mean, we just take one game at a time. We're not gonna worry about what people say. How how hard they put in. We try to be even keel and we just play one game at a time. We don't get into all that other stuff. We just go out there and play.
The reason why I said that crystal ball pick Catholic Point compete, and I just wanted you to know that that's where it was. But your background as a defensive coach, but I see your offense is being led by your son, and they're putting up 35 points a game.
Right.
Coach, tell us how hard is it is as a defensive coordinator to continue to keep up with the offensive pace.
Well, now when we got like a repeater. Let's see, let's see. Well, we're all on the same team. So, as good as the offense goes, we're happy with that. So they've been playing really well. They've been playing at a high level right now, scoring a lot of points. And we got a bunch of kids being in 1A. We got a bunch of kids that's going both ways. So those kids that play offense, ultimately they can play defense as well. And we always talk about playing our best, winning all three phases of the game. I mean, we got I feel one of the best kickers in the state, and we just want to concentrate on all three phases. And thus far, we've been able to do that.
Lastly, before I let you go, last year St. Edmund was in your district. They posed an immediate threat to you guys. Are you prepared to have a good brawl with St. Edmunds this year?
Oh yeah, the last 2 years, we've been battling with St. Ed. They're coach job. They do an incredible job over there. Like I said, we're in a tough district. You have St. Ed, Catholic Point, Opelousas Catholic, as well as Sacred Heart, who we playing this week. So, week in and week out, you're going to be tested. But they do a great job over there at St. Edmunds. We play them in week 10, so we got a little while before we play them. But I'm sure Coach Shira at that time will have his kids ready, as will we. But, we got a whole bunch of games we got to go to before we even think about getting it in.
Most definitely.
Oh yeah, man. Look, we know you breaking down film, bro, and you are what they consistently call a field rat. A field rat sit there and they watch film on the team. They watch film on the other
Right.
team. They watch film of the opponents 2 weeks down the line, and I get it. And I appreciate you taking this time to grace your presence with the Boot Breakdown first head coach interview.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you, Coach. Coach Byron Porter joining us on the Boot Breakdown. And man, Westminster Christian Academy of Opelousas is putting the state on notice. 4-0 right now And like you said, that district is not easy. It's tough, especially with St. Edmunds. But right now, they control their own destiny. Nick Campbell.
Let me give you a little small breakdown. Back in 2011, Coach Porter, Robbie Green, and I, and Coach Cedric, we got together and we built one of the most prominent organizations in youth football called the New Orleans Panthers. Called Cougars, and all of those guys, it was coming to see those kids from the Panthers. We took New Orleans kids in an open weight class and brought them all around the state of Louisiana and played some of the top talent. Coach Porter, he'd been putting in his work as a coach throughout college football, landed back home in Louisiana, got turned down for the West Jeff job, got turned down for Ellender job, and landed there in Westminster. So he's a coach on the rise, and he's well deserving of this undefeated season that he has.
I totally agree with you. Totally agree. And you can see the foundation of what he's built so far over there with the first season 5-5, then 6-4. Now, right now, 4-0, things are looking up for Westminster Christian Academy right now in his this is third year, right? Third year. Yeah.
Yeah.
So look out, Westminster Christian Academy of Opelousas. All right. So we got about a little less than 20 minutes left. I want to get into some of the games that's happening in week 5. Let's talk about it a little bit. We're not gonna pick them because they got to watch our shows when we do pick them, which you can see the Hash It Out show Tuesday and Wednesday at 7:00. You got the Nick Network Prep Report Thursday morning at 11:00, and then Jordan Taylor show Under the Lights Wednesday night at 8:30. So, Nick Campbell, let's get right into it, man. Let's talk about a couple of these games that's coming up, some big time games. Lutcher versus Vanderbilt Catholic. This is the district game. You know a lot about these two teams. Tell us about what you think between these two teams. Vandy's undefeated. They're 4-0.
Yeah, Vandy's undefeated, but I think we talked about this in week 1. We talked about what's the potential for Lutcher, and I had a premonition. I said Lutcher will be really good around week 5. They put 2 good games together. Is it true that their game? Is Lutcher for real? Pretender or contender, like Jordy would say. So I think Lutcher's going out and playing a team like Vandy. Muscle-wise, they're going to be in a game. But we're going to see those little small, intricate details with young quarterbacks and young positions being up for grab. Can Lutcher sustain and bring that third victory home in a row?
I'm with you on that. I want to see if Lutcher can stop the running game of Vanderbilt Catholic. That's what I want to see. If they're able to do that.
A big run.
Running game. Yeah. If they're able to do that, then I can see Lutcher standing tall at the end of the ball games. But we'll see with that. Lafayette Christian at Central. It's gonna be tough for Lafayette Christian. They love playing the tough teams, and they've had a tough schedule. And here we are, week 5. They're playing another state champion. You played who they played week 1? I forgot already. And I named the teams earlier. I know they beat Karen Crow, playoff team, Westgate. Rummel. That's right, Rummel, another playoff team. Then state champion Shaw, and now they got state champion Central. Number 1, they got to learn from the mistakes they made last week. They got to cut that out against this Central team that has a fantastic defense. Got to find ways to be able to move the ball on Central. I just want to see if Lafayette Christian can stop their offense. That's what I want to see, Nick.
I remember as a kid playing Mike Tyson Punch-Out, and I always try to get to the champion, and I would meet the little guy that dance, and that's what Central going to be to Lafayette Christian. Hopefully it don't be a game where they have to throw in the towel. I'm gonna just be real with you, because not slighting Lafayette Christian, but Central is what we witnessed this weekend up front. They are very big. and they're very physical at the point of attack. And I think Lafayette Christian might have 2 to Central 6. And Central got it that deep on the line, and they're going to have their way with them. So hopefully that they can have a good game. But I think by the second half, it's going to show the greatness of Central and how the prominence is in their program right now.
Okay, let's come to New Orleans. One of the oldest rivalries in the nation being played, Jesuit and Holy Cross. Now, I'm going to say this: Holy Cross needs to figure out how to utilize their weapons better, their running backs and their wide receivers. They gotta figure that out and to have a chance to win this game against Jesuit. Jesuit just played a hard game against Brother Martin, and Brother Martin got some weapons on offense, and Jesuit almost won that game. So Holy Cross has to figure out a way to utilize their offense and their key players better in order to have a chance to beat Jesuit, Nick.
Coach Manale, I'm going to be honest with you. When you look at a team like Jesuit playing somebody like Holy Cross, is that uncle game, that uncle type game. So Holy Cross is going to be in the game, but Coach Manale is really trying to find a depth of players that he have on his team to play the big district championship when the playoff comes. I think everybody's going to be solidified to say they could punch their ticket. Jesuit will be that group. But if they don't go in the playoff with depth, they got to use games like Holy Cross to find it. So I think that game is going to be a little bit closer than people think, but it's going to be more in Jesuit favor.
Okay. Catholic New Iberia going on the road to take on Lake Charles College Prep. Now, Lake Charles College Prep, man, they have some big wins on their schedule, even one over 5A bar. This ain't going to be an easy game for Catholic New Iberia. It's not. Lake Charles College Prep, they have athletes all over the field. This might be the most athletic team Catholic New Iberia going to face maybe this year. This might be the most athletic team they're going to play. Look, but it's going to be a close one. This going to be a close ball game, man. This may come down to whoever can make the last stop or who has the ball last. This going to be a good ball game, man. I'm expecting a close score at the end, Nick.
Yeah, 2 titans of a football program, man. I kind of feel for Lake Charles College Prep to get this game after a loss. You know what I'm saying? You getting Catholic New Iberia after a loss, and they don't want to fall behind. They're gonna pull out all the stops. They're gonna scratch. They're gonna fight. They're gonna bite to get this game. This is gonna be tabbed as one of the classic high school football games. And you're going to see them going punch for punch, just like you said, whoever have the ball at the end will win the game. And when I get home on Friday night, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look for that score because I want to see on Sportsline. I watch Sportsline early, and they give you all the great games in the middle of Louisiana.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one. All right. Sterlington goes to Neville. Neville looking to bounce back from the loss. And, Sterling likes to run that option veer. If Neville can stop that option veer, they're going to have, I don't want to say an easy win, but they're going to cruise to a victory. But if they struggle stopping this option veer, it may be a long night for Neville.
I wonder if some of those coaches that's ADs are borderline crazy. When you sitting there trying to play games like that, Sterlington just come off the championship. They have very little room for error, and if they get this game, it look good. But if they don't get this game, they could potentially run into somebody in the semifinals, quarterfinals against the St. James. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a catch-22. It is, again, if you like running the football, you're going to see a really good game. You're going to see a really good football game. But I think Sterlington will bounce back and show everybody in 3A, hey, we come into play. We're here.
Yeah, I think previous games they've had with Neville has been some close ball games. So I wouldn't be shocked if this game is close. Because Sterlington is a great team, defending state champions, not scared to play anyone. We'll see.
Know how to win. Know how to win.
That's right. That's right. They sure do. Sure do. I mean, you might get a Sterling and St. James rematch again in the Dome. Round three. All right. I got one for you, buddy. And you might be at this game come Friday night. Terrebonne at Destrehan. Your thoughts?
You know I'm going. I'm gonna tell you the reason why I'm going. I want to see this game because I want to make sure I saw what I really thought I saw. Now we can look at this game from two different hourglasses, and we both saw them the same. They're both mirrors of each other. I'm talking about the Hornville and the Destrehan. Talent level, Destrehan got a little bit edge over Hornville. I'm a firm believer that if they get into if you get into a scoring match with Destrehan, they can beat you. But Hornville just not there yet to pull out all the stops to get.
Or you comparing? You comparing Hornville from playing Terrebonne? I got you. Okay, I got you. All right.
Yes. So when you look at this game, I just want my eyes to see if it's not tricking me. That's what I want to make sure it's not tricking me. So I expect Coach Lewis, he's going to be on his guys. Last year, Terrebonne beat Destrehan. This year, they're going to Destrehan. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough environment because Terrebonne had 5 penalties for over 75 yards on pass interference and holding calls. But we got a stud that they're going to play. Got a few studs that they're going to be playing this weekend in Destrehan. So it's going to be a great atmosphere. Coach Scott is going to be a tough week for some of those Fighting Wildcats because Coach Scott wants this game.
Oh, I know he wants it. Because winner of this game controls their own destiny for the district championship. They control it right now.
Yes.
What are your thoughts about the running back matchup? Quincy Adams for Terrebonne, Malachi Dabney for Destrehan.
Classic matchup. If we was talking about pickleball, I don't know nothing about pickleball. If we was talking about running backs, man, there's 2 great high school running backs. And we covered Bear Adams for 2 years. We started seeing his peak. We saw Malachi Dabney for 2 years. We started seeing his peak. But load management with these 2 guys are an understatement because they don't run. They don't run them 30 times. They're not getting any carries and the yards on 30 carries. Both of those guys are getting those yards on 18 carries. Malachi Dabney last year had 4 games of 16 plus carries over 200 yards. So that's incredible when you have a plethora of wide receivers like Destrehan had. So Coach Lewis got his game plan cut out for him. He's a gym rat. He like watching film, and he's going to circle some things that his team can do really well. But the trench walls for Destrehan and Terrebonne is going to be something that you can really look forward to. Because I think this is the first time we might see Terrebonne let some guys go both ways on defense to make some good stops, make enough stops.
Well, let me ask you this. We spoke about the running backs. And we know Jackson Field for Destrehan, the quarterback. But Owen Oliver, the other night, my goodness, bro. I don't think we ever saw that from Owen Oliver, man. Just lighting up the place as a quarterback. So when you think about it now, Owen Oliver, he has Alvin Celestine to throw the ball to. Jackson Field has Jabari Mack. So is it safe to say that you just can't focus on the running backs for both teams?
No, you can't. We watch Owen Oliver grow up right before our eyes. We saw him throwing the ball backwards. We saw him fussing at his team. We saw him making mistakes. We even saw him doing our interviews in the first person. This time when you interview him, he talked more about his team as a senior leader, and he didn't bought into what his team can help him do. So I think this kid has grown right before our eyes as a senior leader for Terrebonne. And I think Coach Lewis, is trusting him more. Like he said, he went for it on 4th down because he believed in his line and he believed in his quarterback play. And it's going to be a classic high school football game. The sad part, we're going to have a loser about it, but it's still probably going to make a difference in the district. But we got to see how this is going to pan out in the near future.
We will definitely see how it pans out, because right now, Destrehan and Terrebonne has wins in district. Hornville 0-1, but Hornville still has a chance, maybe. Just gonna need some help from Destrehan this week. We'll see what happens moving forward. One more to talk about, Nick, and it's being talked about on my side over here. St. Augustine going to Edna Karr Friday night, man. Once St. Augustine won that game Saturday night, the talking started. It's time. It's the showdown at Edna Karr.
I want you to think about both of these coaches. Coach Brown is the chemistry professor. You know, he goes to work with his white lab coat, and you get Coach Valdez is the physical PE teacher. You know, and that's going to be a game of wits and brawns. Last year, when I was on that sideline at that game, you were so busy. It's like, I don't want to miss nothing. We get it. That's the type of game it is. And when you're going to see a game, everybody in New Orleans that have opportunity to see this game, if y'all would have the River Parish tailgate method, y'all probably would have a colossal game out there. But I'm talking about from the whole spectrum. This game is going to be so big. Man, I think they should move it to a different venue.
Let me tell you this. I can tell you the Edna Karr fans going to be tailgating at around 3 o'clock around that stadium. They're going to be tailgating. Now, Coach Bryce Brown has moved it in the past to Tad Gormley because he wanted more people there. This time, he ain't moving it, he says. He is keeping it right there at what they call the jungle. Yeah, the jungle.
The jungle.
He said he is not moving it this time. He said, we want to feel like we have our home field. They got to come to us.
I don't blame him because everybody's on top of everybody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And this is the first chance that we can say St. Aug legitimately got a shot.
Yep.
St. Aug legitimately have a shot. Will this be the end of the world if they Karr lose? No. Will it be the end of the world if St. Aug lose? No. But it's just going to set the table to know, well, hey, look, we got Curtis, we got Brother Martin, and we still got a bunch of games to play that could determine our fate in the state. But man, it's going to be classic. I wish I could be there to see it. Will y'all be streaming the game?
No, we have St. James and St. Charles. That's the game we have Friday night. We don't have this one.
Oh man, that's a classic football game. I wish it could be televised on a 55-inch, 65-inch television so the world could see this. I think this should have been an ESPN game. That's just my opinion.
I wouldn't mind. Cheese, you are the second person who asked me this question. It is on Friday night. It's on Friday night because I know Edna Karr the following week against Brother Martin, they're playing on Thursday. So I don't see this game being moved to Saturday. That'd be a disadvantage for Karr to get ready. So this game is on Friday night. Look, let's talk about it right quick. Two good quarterbacks. Vashon Coulon has grown right in front of our eyes, man. He is lighting it up. But we know about John Johnson for Edna Karr. We know about John Johnson. He's legit. Wide receivers, man. St. Augustine. You got Raekwon Williams, Miguel Whitley, Lucas Jefferson stepping up out of nowhere. My goodness. On the other side for Edna Karr right now, you got I think his name Xavier Owens, and you also have what's his name? Got Floyd Jones. Running backs, St. Augustine. You got Khalil Lewis. You got Keith Hill, Edna Karr. You got Trey Garrison. I think the other one is named Morgan. I could be wrong. If I had to call the other running back, I could be wrong. Defensively, St. Augustine got Ty Dominique, Darren Coates at defensive ends. You got Chad Jones Jr. and Jai. I can't think of Jai's last name at linebackers. You got Tyrone Matthew. Yes, that's related to Ty.
Yep.
Yeah, that Matthew that played for the Saints and the Chiefs and LSU. You got him.
And he's stepping.
Say that again.
He's stepping up to his last name too.
Yes. So you got them in the car. You got Big Rich. Big Rich, number 7 in the middle. You got Aiden Hall. Yes, Aiden Hall. You got Maurice Williams. You got Haywood Howard. I mean, my goodness, man. You got talent everywhere. This game here, I can't tell you where it's going to be won at. Maybe the trenches.
This is a recruiter's Easter basket.
Yes.
They pick whoever they want from this game. And it's not saying that New Orleans doesn't have talent throughout the metropolitan and West Bank of New Orleans. They got plenty of talent, but I could guarantee you they should have an area roped off for just recruiters that game. There is going to be a packed house. It's going to have a lot of people. We had a DJ in Terrebonne. I think we might have 2 DJs out there this week, JB.
And the call would definitely have a DJ. Definitely. I know that for a fact.
So I'm excited. And hopefully we could get a digital zap with the game going on, because I'm going to bring my pad. I want to watch both.
Right there.
I want to watch both.
I'm pretty sure somebody in the stands going to have their phone out, just streaming it on Facebook or something. I'm sure somebody will. Oh man, we got a slate of good games coming up here for week 5, ladies and gentlemen. But other than that, that is it for the boot breakdown. No, I wanted to ask you this, Nick, before we go. I wanted to ask you this because my man Cheese told me today when I was watching, actually streaming Terrebonne and Hornville. To me, there was a pass that happened that went way out of bounds. It was uncatchable, but the ref still called pass interference. And I was like, well, you shouldn't have thrown this flag. If it's uncatchable, don't even throw the flag. And Cheese told me today there's no such thing as uncatchable in high school football. And now, we got it in it.
No, it's called impeding.
Okay, so here's my thing. All right, because I'm kind of like, if it's not catchable, like it's way out of bounds. All right, you can't catch it. If you want to catch it, it's out of bounds. But why don't we have something in high school football in regards to that? Because I just think
I think they call that Young rule. It's the Mark Young rule. When Mark Young, he was a 6-foot guy at Hornville, can jump real high. And the Kerry Watkins rule, if those guys were so fast and so athletic, if they can reach for it and potentially catch it, that's why they call it an impeding rule. So they give them the benefit of the doubt of having an opportunity to catch the pass. And lo and behold, man, if you ever saw Ryan Perilou play, he threw a lot of those balls, and a lot of those balls was catch. So just like the committees, and you could ask any official, they talk about rules like that, man. They got some cats can make some of those catches, and they'll tell you, they'll make that signal like this if they can't catch it, and they're going to nullify it. But if it's an engage or a bang-bang play, they're going to make sure they call that in high school football now.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm just looking at it like there's no way it could have been caught, and we still call it pass interference. That's what I'm looking at. You know, I understand what you're saying and not debating. I'm agreeing with you, but I'm looking at, man, this ball 20 yards away from the receiver. He couldn't catch that ball. We still call pass interference?
That might be Lafayette officials, a Morgan City official. But
I'm just saying, man. I don't know, man. I didn't see something 2 weeks in a row, and I'm sitting there like, What?
You got to be more consistent. It's crazy, but you got to be consistent. But look, before we get out of here, man, let's talk about these boys from Bunkie, man. These Bunkie Panthers. Hey, look, they putting the state on notice. I don't want to be the one to buck them up because it start to get hot every year and they flame out through the playoff. But man, Bunkie is really putting the state on notice right now, and that's why I miss Jordan, so we can get a little tad bit on these Bunkie Panthers, man.
I've known about Bunkie for the past 2 years now because my co-host George Peppers used to live in that area for a little while. And he always talks about Bunkie, man. And we had that coach on the show, on the Hatchet Out show last year. Bunkie, man, they're explosive on offense, man. And they get so close to the quarter. They get to the quarters of the semis, and then they just find somebody just as good. But this may be Bunkie's year. This may be Bunkie's year, man. No doubt, no doubt. And
they look the part. They look the part.
Chiefs say not this year. they say they're not like they were last year. Okay. I love it. Cheese, look, I see your comment. The ball is in the air, and anywhere on the field, it has to be a PI, they call it. Okay, I get it. And we talked earlier. We agreed on that I think uncatchable should be in high school football. But I mean, it is what it is. It's the rule. I can sit here and say I don't like it. I can sit here and say I like it. But I'm not changing no rules in high school football. What can I do, man? I'm just saying.
As long as you say it like last week, is they consistent with it? You got to be consistent because in week 8, we the one that determined a district championship. Or week 12, we the one that determined if a team go to the semifinals or not.
How many times have you seen in the playoffs when you get a neutral officiating crew from a different area and the way they ref games is totally different from the crews you see in the area you from? All the time. Yep.
Holmgren probably would still be playing if the right officiating crew would have called that was not a touchdown last year.
Oh, man, he went back. Look, man, I went back and saw that too, man. And I was like, what? And Sean, man, people were like, oh, JB, man, something wrong with your eyes. I'm saying something wrong with my eyes. What? I love y'all, Sean, man. Y'all know that Coach Jason Tucker, my friend. I number love, man. But hey, we're gonna leave it at that. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, Tuesday, 7:00, Pass It Out show right here on JP the Sports Guy and on Jared Sports Guy Board Facebook page. Wednesday, same as well, 7:00 on those two media pages. Jordan Taylor's Under the Lights is at 8:30 on Wednesday. I try to be done right at 8:30 so anybody watching my show can go straight to his show. I don't try to impede his show. So y'all tune in to me too first and then go to Jordan. We all appreciate that. Then when y'all wake up, get your coffee, don't get no breakfast because I don't want y'all to eat your breakfast and y'all get sleepy. Get your lunch around 11:00 Thursday morning on Nick Campbell's Facebook page as he gives you the Nick Network Prep Report with Coach Ulysses Fonta.
And man, we appreciate that because it had so many people was looking for what are we doing. Last year we averaged around 2,400 viewers. And we wanted to continue to build that momentum. But this year at lunchtime, man, it's starting to become crazy. We getting some really good River Parish fans ready to hear what we got to say.
Definitely. I want to look up something right quick before we go. It just came in my mind because I want to see if Jordan Taylor had posted his games of the week that he's going to do this week. And I don't see it on his page because I would tell y'all about it. So I don't see it though, but I'm sure he'll post it when he's done from being on assignment. The Hash It Out Show games of the week, Thursday night, pregame 6:15, game time 6:30. The John F. Kennedy Cougars are coming to Marrero, Louisiana to take on the John Ehret Patriots. You can catch that on the YouTube page of JB the Sports Guy. And then Friday night, it is St. Charles Catholic taking on St. James in beautiful downtown Vacherie. Is what they say about it, beautiful downtown Vacherie. Pre-game 6:45, game time is at 7 o'clock. That's also on the YouTube page of JB the Sports Guy. Nick, you got any last words before we go?
Man, I implore you, JB, VK, and George, go step into St. James tailgate a little while and mingle with some of the people. They got some really good people. You're going to have a blast. Go swap over to St. Charles Catholic. They got some good people that's tailgating. You will have a blast. Don't taste none of their sodas because they're spiked. But just go and check them out. We don't want you swerving on the air because y'all call a really good game on Friday nights, my brother.
Man, truly appreciate it. So, next Sunday we're back right here with the Boot Breakdown. Me, Nick, and hopefully we got Jordy back. You got it, Cheese?
With some good news. A
lot of good news. Cheese, you got the schedule? Do you know? Do you know what games they have this week? Okay, here you go. Cheese putting it up. So, under the lights, Thursday night game of the week. It is Livonia at Catholic Point Coupe. All right.
Ooh.
I'm assuming that's a 7 o'clock game. And then Friday, Logan Sport at Kendo. Ooh. All right. That's two good games right there that they got. Definitely. Thank you, Cheese. Appreciate it. All right, everybody. We're going to go ahead and shut this down. So make sure y'all tune into our shows throughout the week. Tune into our games. And then come right back here Sunday, 6:15. For Nick Campbell, I am JB the Sports Guy. We'll see y'all later on during the week. Y'all take care.
Good peace.